I had grown up for 40 years thinking that I was neurotypical. And then I just
Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Growing Together Neurodiversity at Home. I'm Mary Ellen Yates, parenting four wonderful children with my husband in a home full of love, neurodiversity, and chaos. Join me as I discuss parenting and homeschooling amongst neurodiversity, its struggles and triumphs, the logistics, resources, and much more as we try to help guide and grow our children into the best versions of who they want to be.
that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. So let's get started. I thought today it would be good to talk about what it means to be neurotypical. So then we can contrast later on throughout the many other videos that I'll be doing. So I was 40 years old, scrolling on Facebook postpartum after having my fourth and last little kiddo. And I saw this meme slash really short video that made me question whether I was neurodiverse. I had grown up for 40 years thinking that I was neurotypical. And then I discovered through research and collaboration with a professional that I, in fact, have ADHD and am not neurotypical. So that kind of blew my mind, and I no longer knew what it meant to be neurotypical because it wasn't what I thought it was. So, anyway, I grew up with two parents that had ADHD and also a younger sister that did as well. So, I've been very comfortable and familiar with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And when I met my husband, I identified that he had it right away and I suggested he get tested, and he did. And they confirmed the diagnosis. And when my first little boy was born, it was very obvious at a young age that he also had ADHD. But during all this time and all these people, and even when I identified with certain struggles that they went through, I never realized that I also had ADHD. So that's my story of my neurotypicality. So, since my world was rocked, I did not know what neurotypicality meant anymore. So, I went to the trusty internet and I got a lot of Google answers about very vague characteristics of pretty much just like doing what is behaviorally expected. So anyway, verywellmind.com gave me the most specific answers I could find touching on this topic. If we're going to define someone as neurodiverse, we need to know what we consider as normal. So, with that being said, people do not identify as neurotypical. They don't think about it. They feel like they fit in. And so they don't wonder why they're different. And so they don't even think about whether they are neurotypical or not. And they don't think about getting tested because they don't see anything that needs to be tested. So, also, they tend to meet their behavioral and developmental milestones. They often don't need speech therapy, though not all the time, but often they don't have sensory issues. They're able to tolerate sound and light, and they're able to sense where their body is in proportion to other people, and they're able to touch different sensory items and be okay. They also process social cues and interact in culturally appropriate ways. And it's also said that they learn new skills easily. And this one, I kind of feel like it could be for both categories because, yes, if you have dyslexia and it's hard to read, that skill is going to be really difficult for you. Or if you have dyspraxia and you have motor coordination issues, learning to do new skills is going to take a while. Not that you can't do it, but it's going to be harder. Or if you have dysgraphia and it's really difficult for you to write, then learning the skill to write is going to be really hard. But I also think of some autistic individuals or some individuals with ADHD, and they have an amazing ability to hyper focus. And if it's something, especially that they're interested in, they can become a master very quickly because they just dive into that until they are. And so I feel like for them, a lot of times they do learn new activities quickly. I taught myself lots of new skills and hobbies when I was a kid. My mom would just get me a book from the library and I would teach myself how to do it. So I think that can go either way. And then I also lastly wanted to mention that research has shown that through brain scans that they've seen physical differences on the scans also between a neurotypical brain and a neurodiverse brain. So that could be another way of identifying whether someone is neurotypical or neurodiverse. Though most people are not getting brain scans, so it's not the standard of care. So there's still other indicators that you'd be looking at for diagnosis either way. And that's all I have for you on what it means to be neurotypical. Did I miss anything? Can you think of anything else to add for what a neurotypical person may act like, be like? And put your answers in the comments below. And also, do you think it's important to make the distinction? Do you think we need to be talking about whether we're neurotypical and neurodiverse? Do you think it's even a conversation that we need to have? I look forward to seeing your comments and talking to you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, and make sure to like and subscribe below if you haven't already. Thanks.